Hey, welcome to the Luxury Syndicate, where we embark on an exquisite journey to the heart of the luxurious world and share valuable financial life advice as well as entrepreneurial insights. You have reached the perfect channel if you want success in your life and business, and make sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons if you haven't already. Feel free to leave a comment. Since the majority of our viewers at Luxury Syndicate are interested in increasing their wealth, we looked at the things that the majority of wealthy people have. Let's have an appetizer first before enjoying our main content for this video. The practice of using your time to make money and then using that money to hire others to do the same is called time money time arbitrage. Your main responsibility is to find ways to turn your time into money and to continue doing that for a while until you have enough cash to hire someone else. You may pay this person less than what you're making because you created the opportunity, taking the difference in cash. Have you ever thought why every single business has staff? Of course, because of that practice. Every single employee in an organization produces more value for the business than they are paid by the business, and the business keeps the surplus. There is a fair possibility you can determine if someone is wealthy or poor just by looking at them and their possessions, according to a recent study that was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Why does that matter? A business's assets are things it owns that will be useful to it in the future. I guess those are enough for us to start. Here are some useful resources to help you become wealthier. Number 1. Royalty. Royalties are the center of a vast industry. You simply wrote a book, for example. Your book's rights are wanted by a movie company, which plans to adopt it into a TV series or movie. You receive a share of the revenue generated in return. Let's use Harry Potter. Each film was massively successful. The movies, which were inspired by the books written by J.K. Rowling, not only scored the actors some major coin, but turned Rowling into the first billionaire author. When a movie gets so popular that it makes sense to make it available to different stations worldwide, we may never know if Rowling is a billionaire, as she keeps her finances private, but she has easily made over $1 billion in her career and is still going strong. The Harry Potter books are still as popular as ever and will be for a long time. It's estimated that Rowling has earned over $700 million from the Harry Potter films alone. Number 2. Employees. Everyone in your organization should be replaceable, but the harder it is to replace some of your employees, the more valuable they are to you. Make sure they know it. The appropriate hires will increase your wealth. Johnny Ive, Apple's principal product designer, created the items that are currently in the possession of billions of people, according to further investigation. The teams that comprise a firm are the next group. There have been instances where larger corporations have purchased startups solely to hire those individuals. There is a name for it, in fact. It is known as acqui-hire. Studies show that when employees feel unfairly treated, they are less productive, more likely to engage in deceptive behavior, and less likely to stay with the company long term. Number 3. Trademark. Since trademarking it, he's made over $400 million just from one catchphrase. Trademarks may be domestic or foreign, but good luck getting them enforced. You can license a valuable trademark if you already hold one with marketable value. They are able to utilize it for business purposes and pay you in return. Trademarks protect your symbols, words, or phrases in the same way that patents protect your invention. When it comes to a brand's name or emblem, it's quite obvious why this is a major concern, but this is where things become very fascinating. Number 4. Unique branding. Seriously, the way a company treats its clients, the beneficial effects it has on the team, and the public's appreciation for the company's existence all contribute to its goodwill. Additionally, they portray the sentimental relationship that consumers feel toward their brand as goodwill from having a brand. The corporation is making an attempt to promote a specific perception of itself in the marketplace. While brand and goodwill will differ slightly from one another, both are extremely valuable to any firm. A corporate image is the imprint it leaves on consumers' thoughts about what it stands for. There are companies that have become extremely successful solely through branding. Goodwill is super hard to cultivate or scale, but customers will literally save companies from bankruptcy because of the goodwill they have for it. There are perhaps other cases that could even better support this story. I'll use my black Gucci shirt as an example. Ordinary shirts are available for less than $2 each. Put a Gucci label on them, and suddenly the intangible value the brand adds to the product makes them worth $590. Number 5. Mutual and index funds. You're statistically more likely to make a mistake if you start buying stocks one at a time. You won't become one of those market-beating miracle traders. It's quite complicated. You're over here and you don't have that type of information. The 500 top-performing firms are gathered together in the S&P 500. When a company leaves the top 500, a new high-performing one takes its place. Out of the 5 stated, the S&P 500 index average annualized total return over the past 90 years is 9.8%. Our preferred choice is Vanguard. If you want to accumulate money over the long term, index funds ought to be part of your portfolio. The best resource if this is something you're interested in is a book by Tony Robbins called Money Master the Game, which, surprise, breaks everything down for you. As the best retirement resource, we suggested it to our parents. Number 6. Entertainment or online courses. Due to its endless expansion, providing information is an amazing endeavor. A book can be written once and sold 1,000,000 times. The same is accurate for online courses. By producing and disseminating this music or any other digital asset, you can not only improve the worth of your company, but also become extremely wealthy. When we introduced our first course, Mind Mastery, we conducted first-hand experiments with it. We spent more than a long month dissecting the best and most efficient manner for those who are business-oriented to employ meditation. And although we just started here, the finished product is amazing. And this video is the product of our efforts. Number 7. First mover advantage and proprietary business models. There are many ways for a company to make money, but only a few tried and true business models predominate today. Direct sales, subscription-based, freemium, and the franchise model are some of them. Being able to go from providing high-quality DVDs to a streaming service has been seen as a highly useful asset for Netflix. They were able to gain market share while everyone else was standing still thanks to this advantage. When do you innovate in a way that is profitable? This invention is thought to be advantageous. One of those developments is the App Store from Apple. Microtransactions are a new business model used in video games. A microtransaction is a type of business strategy where customers can spend little money to buy virtual goods. Free-to-play games, in which there is no charge to download the game but a fee to purchase virtual goods online, frequently feature microtransactions. Number 8. Bonds. Corporate bonds are used by many companies to raise funding for large-scale projects, such as business expansion, takeovers, new premises, or product development. When governments or businesses need money, they can issue bonds, which are sold to interested investors. Corporate bonds can be used to replace bank financing or to provide long-term working capital. These are extremely safe investments because they're mostly backed by the government. Number 9. Through stocks. Over several decades, the average stock market return has been about 10% per year. However, remember that's just an average across the entire market. Some years will be up, some down, and individual stocks will vary in their returns. As those Wall Street firms would have you believe, stocks are not as complicated as they appear. You can easily own a portion of a publicly listed company through stocks. If a company issues 10 million shares and you possess 1 million of them, you own 10% of the company. With such minimal entry barriers, this amazing development in financial instruments has made it possible for the common person to buy stock in some of the most profitable businesses in existence today. Here's the price at which one share of each of these firms may be purchased. There are various systems available that let you buy this kind of share and use it as an investment in the stock market. Number 10. Real estate assets. Despite the COVID outbreak, the population is growing, and more individuals are in need of housing or somewhere to rent. Real estate is one of the best investments one can ever make in terms of real estate assets because demand is growing and property values are rising as a result. Let's say you own a very large apartment or residential building, or you get the rent for 2 office buildings from tenants who live in your properties, or 3 commercial buildings on your land are occupied by people who pay you rent, and businesses use your area to sell goods and pay your rent for property that may be developed, farmed, or even left undeveloped to increase value. Most crucially though, your home is a responsibility rather than an asset. Although it doesn't generate any fresh income for you, living there costs you money. Number 11. Special rights. I bet you're familiar with the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, or the IGRA, 25 USC Section 2701. It was passed in 1988 to provide a legal framework for the regulation of tribal gaming. This statute permits traditional Native American gambling on tribal grounds, along with bingo, pull tabs, lotteries, punch boards, tip jars, and some card games. It is possible to consider anything, from specialized licenses to geographic benefits, if it gives you a market edge that qualifies as an asset. Another example is the church, which doesn't have to pay taxes, right? Number 12. Equipment. Non-current assets, such as buildings and equipment, are assets needed in order for a business to operate, with no exception that they will be sold or converted to cash. Non-current assets are also referred to as fixed assets. Your vehicle is valuable if you drive for Uber, and the same is true when you are a cleaning lady and you have your cleaning tools and materials. Purchasing an automobile does not count as a liability unless it significantly affects your ability to earn a living. Depending on how closely an item relates to the revenue you're bringing in, you can decide whether it's an asset or a liability. The two are frequently confused in people's minds. They try to justify it as an asset when in reality, they're mismanaging their own finances due to lack of self-control. Number 13. Cash. Cash is still important, considering the fact that banks' current interest rates aren't even keeping up with inflation. Interest is paid on money deposited in a bank. Apple has a cash reserve of more than $200 billion. Liquidity is that. 2 reasons. The first is being able to take advantage of any chance that rises, which, if you think about it, is very self-explanatory. The deal of your dreams is right in front of you, but you lack the funds to take advantage of it. One of the key motives for wealthy people to save money is this. While peer-to-peer lending can range from 7 to as high as 15 or 20%, the average bank only pays out less than 1% interest on deposits. Please remember that if an offer appears too good to be true, it probably is. When investing, we should constantly keep our heads in the sand. Number 14. Commodities. Focusing on the market, the cost of raw materials and commodities changes. If you're wise, you'll buy something while it's cheap, hold on to it, and then sell it when there's a lot of demand. This holds true for all aspects of life, including money, oil, gold, cryptocurrencies, expensive automobiles, and fine art. The cost of gold has risen by 278% in the last 15 years. The price of all things gets doubled, tripled as time goes by. Some of the richest people in the world are purchasing rare vintage cars that are rapidly appreciating while your car is costing you money. The same is true of other collections, such as expensive watches. One of the main reasons affluent people spend outrageous sums of money on art and collections is that it increases their wealth. Just a tip though, never make investments in areas you are unsure of. It's one of the most crucial financial principles. If you disobey it, you'll never be wealthy. Number 15. Patents. Let's define the word patent first. In the world of commerce, patents have tremendous influence and worth. The best innovations are all protected by patents. So, a patent is an exclusive right obtained for an invention. Technical details concerning the innovation must be made public in a patent application to be granted one. Take note, not just large corporations rely on patents. I actually have this toy in my room that helps me relieve stress, a Slinky. From our research, the sales totaled more than $250 to $300 million. The big mouth Billy Bass animatronic fish that you used to see on everyone's walls, its value exceeds $100 million as well. The list continues. It's great to have a lot of wealth in assets. Assets increase your net worth, have the potential to increase in value over time, and can be liquidated for cash to help your financial objectives, like having more money for retirement or paying off debt. So, after watching this educational video, have you chosen which among these resources you could possibly use and apply to make you even richer? Let us know, folks, in the comment section. If you guys did enjoy watching this, then make sure to hit the like button, and I would appreciate you subscribing to see more about fine living and luxurious life inspirations. This is Luxury Syndicate. We'll see you on our next travels.